Today's video is going to be about our John Deere 2210 tractor. I bought this in 2013, October of 2013. I bought it used with 425 hours on it. We currently have 603 hours on it, so we've used it quite a bit over the years. We absolutely love it, and any of the specs that I give you are going to come straight from this brochure. I always like to have the brochure for equipment that I have, so this is the actual brochure for this tractor. Okay, so some specs about the 2210. It is a 23 horsepower diesel Yanmar engine, 3-cylinder tractor. It seems to have plenty of power for most of what we need to do. I find that it is a little light on power when I'm using the front end bucket, and that the hydrostatic is a little bit slow when I'm really taxing the hydraulics. This particular model 210 loader that I can show you in another video has a 600 pound or 620 pound lift. That's not a lot of weight, but it does a lot of what we need it to do. It's just a little light for some of the activity that we would like it to do. Both the Turf and the R4 tires I have for this are loaded tires, so that does help with the ballast weight. And I also, when I'm running the loader, I always have a ballast box on the back. Those are about $250, but they're certainly a great thing and a kind of a must-have if you've got a loader on the front and you're doing any serious loading with it. It saves on the front axle pressure because you're moving the pivot point more to the back for the weight, and I find that it makes it a lot more stable. I do also find that having the Mower Deck on makes it feel a lot more stable when you're doing any loader work. But we've had some instances where it felt unstable when the front end loader is full of gravel or dirt, even with the ballast box and the ballast in the back. So it's just a little narrow for my liking for a lot of loader work. But if you're just doing some basic things, I think it's perfect for you. The hydraulic pump does 3 gallons per minute for the drive and 2.5 gallons per minute for the power steering. I think it would be difficult to do any loader work without the power steering. It does have a 5-gallon fuel tank, uses diesel fuel, and the weight of the tractor alone, not including the deck, not including the loaded tires, is 1,400 pounds. So when you get the loader on the front, the loaded tires, the ballast box, and the deck, it would be considerably heavier if you're trying to figure out what kind of trailer you need to haul this. So, like I said, this is a 2210 John Deere. This is a 2003 model year. And just walking a little bit around the tractor and showing some features to you. Currently we have the Turf tires on, but I do have another set of R4 industrial tires. And I put those on in the wintertime when I'm using the front bucket for clearing snow, and also when I'm doing any moving dirt or anything like that. But I find in the summertime it's better to run the Turf tires. They don't dig up the yard quite as much. It has a 62C Mower Deck. Right now we have the mulching kit on it. The deck works okay. If I'm being honest, it doesn't do the best cut job. I've tried replacing the blades. The bearings are all good. I keep it greased. It does mow better with the mulching kit on than it does with the standard blades, but it's not a perfect cut, but it does a decent job. Working our way around to the back. This tractor does have the ROPS, rollover protection system. Previous owner added the rest of this onto it. At first I thought I'd probably take it off, but I've come to like it. I like having the protection from the rain and snow in the wintertime, and then a little bit of protection from the sun while I'm working. It does have a Category 1 3-point hitch. The 3-point hitch will lift up to 700 pounds. It has a rear PTO, 540 speed. Now, one of the things that I don't love about this particular setup, this lever lifting off of the 3-point is what lifts up the mower deck. And the problem with that is, if you don't have a implement on, or in this case our receiver hitch, the 3-point arm doesn't make contact with this to lift the deck up. So you always have to have something on while you're mowing. We can keep working around this side. The tractor does have a seat belt. You've got the hydraulic connections for when the loader is attached. This does have a 210 model loader. Love the loader. I don't know what I ever did without a loader here on the property. I use it to lift the hitch out of the back of the truck anytime I want to remove the fifth wheel hitch. And then of course removing dirt and snow and firewood. There's just a million things we've used it for. Certainly saves on your back. And as far as the controls of the tractor, John Deere uses a 2-pedal forward reverse design, which is different than like a Kubota. Kubota uses a front and back on the same foot. We have 4-wheel drive. This lever controls the hydraulics, so when the bucket is on the front, you use this to raise and tilt. There are 2 ranges of hydrostatic speed on this tractor. Right now it's in neutral. There's a low range and a high range. And then this lever beside that is what controls your 3-point and the mower deck. This knob is how you control your cutting height of the deck. It's also what you use to install the deck when you're first putting it on for the spring. I found that that's not extremely accurate. If you put it on, say 3.5, it's not necessarily 3.5 inches. You've got to measure it yourself and choose the setting that best matches your other equipment. It does have a parking brake. This is the key to start. This is your throttle control. There's a gauge on here that shows you instrument cluster of your fuel level, turn signal, check engine light, battery light, and temperature. And then this is your electronic PTO engage. It has both rear and mid PTO, and there's a selector lever here for that. You can choose, in this case it's set for the middle only. You can move it back one and it'll be doing middle and rear, and you can move it clear to the back and it's the rear PTO only. These are your lights, hazard, headlights, turn signals. This is your brake. This lever, you can come over here, you can see, is your locking differential in the rear. So if you start spinning a wheel, you can just hit that with the heel of your left foot and it engages both rear tires locked. And this is the control of how quickly the hydraulics operates on the 3-point hitch, up and down. So I'll go ahead and start it up. It has to be in neutral position to start. Some things that I've added onto the tractor. I added the LED light bar. I find that gives me a lot more light, and the higher up angle is better for when I'm using the bucket to clear snow or do any loader work and it's dark out. The headlights get constantly blocked by the bucket, so having the light higher and much brighter is a big help. And the LED bar does not draw that much power, so I can leave it on for short amounts of time while the tractor's not running if I need to see something while the tractor's not operating. Then I also added these flashers so that when I'm out by the road, if I'm doing any clearing of the driveway at the end right by the main road, or if I need to travel down the road a short distance to another plot of land, these lights are great indicators, a lot brighter and more eye-catching than these standard ones that came on the tractor. I forgot to mention I bought this tractor at Fisher & Father in Seneca, Pennsylvania. Highly recommend, if you're in the Northwest Pennsylvania area, you consider them. They do a great job. John Deere mowers, John Deere tractors, anything you really need for your outdoor work. Stihl chainsaws, Stihl trimmer, Stihl blower. That's a great place. Certainly not a sponsored video, but I appreciate that they've always been great to me. So I recommend you go out and talk to DJ or Shane if you're looking for something like that.